I hadn't tarpon fished, and Bam hadn't either. And so I wanted to do something new that we hadn't caught or done yet.
I kind of helped put this trip together. Brandon approached me. He said, I'm thinking about putting together a hunt in Texas or the Florida hunt where we get to hunt iguanas, get to fish some tarpons.
And we were seeing the full fish in the shadow like that it creates on the finder, and that was pretty wicked. Like, hey, and then as soon as we would see it on that and the back end of it, the fish would be, or the bait was going crazy, so the rod would start going within like 20-30 seconds of us seeing them on that side.
Both raised up, we shot this iguana, and it took a couple shots to put him down. And like when we first saw him, you could visibly tell that like he was like bigger than the rest of the iguanas that we had already shot and put in the boat. When he flips this thing back and he hits the deck on that boat, easily 3 times bigger than all the rest of them.
That is a freaking dragon, dude.
Good girl.
That's the way to end the fucking game, fellas.
Tejas. Tejas Hunt Club Podcast is the podcast for you.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 34 of the Tejas Hunt Club Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon McDowell, and this week, let's just say this podcast I'm sure is going to be a winner. As you've probably seen on our Instagram or on Facebook, if you follow us, I hope you do. If you don't, stop right now. Go check out our Instagram. Hit that follow button. We'll appreciate it. If you've been checking it out, I had my bachelor party trip to Florida with some buddies of mine, Jared Erikson, which has been on the podcast before, and my buddy Bobby Schoen Colby May. So we went to Florida and we went tarpon fishing and iguana hunting. Definitely one, if not the best bachelor party trip that I've been on personally. Sorry for the bachelor parties that I have been on, but it's not much that's going to top that. Also, want to give a big shout out to Poncho Outdoors. If you haven't checked out their stuff, they have the best fishing shirt, outdoor pullover shirt that you're going to get on the market right now. And they're based out of Texas, but they hooked us up on the trip down to South Florida with their shirts. And then also we're going to be rocking them in the wedding too. So they have a lot of different stuff. If you haven't been to their website, definitely go check it out. Check out their Instagram as well. They produce and they also share and have a lot of ambassadors that create a lot of awesome content, from tarpon fishing in Florida to hunting out in West Texas. Be sure to go check out Poncho Outdoors. That's what we're going to get into this week on the podcast. I'm glad y'all are listening. I'm glad y'all are back. Hopefully you've been checking out all of our other content that we've had rolling out. Last week, we had a podcast where I did an unboxing of all my real avid stuff that I got in, kind of talking about some of the builds that I'm going to be doing here pretty soon. We're going to be building some ARs for me and for Megan. We're going to have some more videos with all that gear that I picked up, going through the builds that we're going to do. I know first things, I'm going to build a 10-inch 300 blackout, and then probably a 6 arc, and then probably a 5.56 rifle as well. I want to get more into shooting ARs. It's something I've done in passing with buddies and stuff because, they've been the ones with the guns most of the time. These will be my first ARs that I'll own myself. So we're going to put some optics on them. We're going to do different things. And we're also going to get some suppressors from good old silencer shops because I want to keep my hearing as damaged as it already is. Don't want it anymore. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with that, creating a lot of content, so be sure that you are subscribed so you get notified when I'm dropping it all. And then right before that, we did, Megan and I filmed kind of behind the scenes of us filming for one of our clients, DA Ranch down in Mathis, Texas. We got to see some big whitetails and stuff. I know whitetail season's over, but if you're like me, it doesn't matter what time of year it is. I like looking at big deer, so be sure and go check those videos out as well. It might sound like a broken record, but I'm going to keep preaching it. Get involved in organizations that are doing things for hunting conservation, outdoor conservation, fishing as well. So I'm going to keep banging this drum on every podcast, but if you're a listener, I really urge you to get involved in your local organizations, even some of the national ones as well, that are supporting wildlife conservation. And that goes from hunting to fishing as well. There's a lot of things that are happening right now if we don't get involved, we can't complain if it ever does go away. So make sure you're doing your part. Springtime's going to be real busy for us. We're going to be trying to produce some content, from turkey hunting stuff to shooting guns, like I talked about in some of the builds that we're going to do, shooting pistols as well. We're going to be doing podcasts about those and creating videos with those. One of the events coming up that we're going to be at March 1st through the 3rd is the 4th annual CT Hog Dog Tournament down in Goliad, Texas, at the Goliad Fairgrounds. So we're actually sponsoring the event. We got some Yetis engraved with the Tejas Hunt Club podcast logo, and then also the Hog Dog Tournament logo on it. So we're going to be giving those away to the winners of that tournament. So if you think you got some dogs that can hunt and you're in the area, be sure to get entered into that contest. I know we shared it on our Facebook, and then also, but you can reach out to Curtis Kalajizik, my buddy down there from Yorktown, Texas. His number is 361-212-7582. So if you want to get entered into that contest, give him a shout and he can get you all the rules and regulations. And I'm sure if you're listening to the podcast and you run dogs, you're on one of the hog dog pages on Facebook, and it's been posted in a whole bunch of them. But you can definitely search it in the search bar on Facebook and find it and pick it up. And we've shared it in our Facebook group, which if you're a listener and not in the Facebook group, shame. So get in that, and you'll always get the information for these tournaments, because we're going to be sharing quite a few of them. I mentioned before in another podcast, we're going to be trying to get that information out for people that want to join, if people want to sponsor those events, or if you're having an event and you're looking for sponsors, we'll definitely give you a shout out and try to get those people entered up and get those sponsors there, because once again, we have to support those local organizations and local hunting tournaments, because if not, they're going to go away, kind of like the Quail contest. Another contest coming up, Derek Alguesevo rocking a taxidermy and guide service. We had him on the podcast a few episodes back, so you can go check that one out and kind of hear about his story. He's actually putting on an all-women's predator hunt. So that one's going to run March 16th through the 17th. The weigh-in for that is going to be in Orange. The weigh-in for that is going to be at Orange Corn Company in Rio Medina, Texas. So South Texas people, South Texas women, get your teams together, hunt some predators, and be sure to check out Rockin' A Taxidermy and Guide Service for all the information on that tournament. He's on Facebook and Instagram. Give him a shout. Give him a follow too. Also, our buddy Bill Weekly is involved in Wildlife in Focus is going to be having their annual clay shoot on Saturday, April the 20th, down in Mathis, Texas. For more information on this event, you can register your team as well. You can go to www.wildlifeinfocus.org, or you can call 361-342-9585. Also, you can email info@wildlifeinfocus.org. If you haven't listened to the podcast that we had with Bill Weekly, that one's a great one. It was one of our first podcasts that we actually put out and produced, and he was gracious enough to lend us his time and go out and talk about wildlife photography, hunting white-tailed deer, and kind of his story and how he got into the business that he's in today. If you're not following his page, he is an awesome photographer. It's Wild Build Photography. If you search that on Instagram, it'll pop up. But also link it down in the description below. You can check his page out and give him a follow. But he's posted about it. Wildlife in Focus is also an Instagram account where they're sharing the information about the clay shoot. So be sure and give those guys a follow. And if you think you're handy with a 12 gauge or 20, go out and support Wildlife in Focus on Saturday, April the 20th. Total Archery Challenge San Antonio is coming up also on April 26th through the 28th. Luckily, we got the courses in our knock times that we wanted. So we'll be there Saturday and Sunday. If you're shooting Total Archery Challenge, shoot us a message. We'll definitely meet up, hang out, maybe shoot another course or two. Enough talking. We're going to keep this intro pretty short, hopefully. And we're going to get into this podcast with Jared and Bob and Colby. I will say, if you have children listening to the podcast with you right now, I suggest that you listen to it at another time. It's not too bad, but hey, don't be sending me no messages talking about your baby heard his first curse word or something, because I don't want that on my conscience. So make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got a lot of content coming out. Follow us on Instagram. Get in the Facebook group so you can get all the notifications about the contests that are coming out. And enjoy this podcast with some pretty cool guys and some of my best friends that I've had for a long time. Appreciate y'all listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah.
I got here at 8:00 sharp.
No, bro.
Bullshit, because I was waiting at 8:00 sharp.
Yeah. We've been on here just
Oh, my bad. Texas time, 8:00. Been drinking for a
come
while.
on, man. See, this is why you got to be early so we can fix all those things.
This episode is brought to you by Odell Brewing.
Hey, dude, they ain't sending us no money or
And-
nothing.
and
We
the
can't be
round,
advertising
baby.
their stuff. No, They better be sending some free cases or something for the wedding.
Let me turn that.
That's the only way we're
Sponsorship
doing any
around.
commercials. All right.
What's this percentage thing uploading on here?
So it's recording right now because I'd have to get up again to hit record, and I can just cut all this out, or I can leave it in. Either way. So that is the percentage. That is the percentage that's uploading that comes to me.
Oh, so you weren't recording before?
No,
We had pretty good intro conversations. Just
I know,
this is
we
us
did.
shooting this shit.
Yeah,
I know,
your
we did.
camera looks
Wow.
like it's a knife, like a razor, dude.
Do what?
Your camera looks like a razor phone, dude. It's all blurry, Colby.
Oh, that's
Oh, I
probably your
see-
internet connection.
I see me clear as shit. I see Jared clear. Bob, well, nope. Bam, you're clear. Bob, oh man,
That's good.
I think it's your internet,
you need
but
to connect.
it'll
to
upload
that.
clear for me, and that's all that matters. But everybody sounds good. Everybody can hear each other. That's all we need.
Kick it off.
See, I read the instructions, Bam. I got that external mic.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we put that together. I was pretty proud of myself when I put that together and made it real official for the podcast. You know?
That is legit.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is he sending this to?
All my podcast guests, dude. And it usually has I have the pictures already, but it usually asks for digital assets as photos or videos that I add in the podcast.
Right.
So, but I had all that, so I didn't have to ask you all that.
Dude,
Yeah, I read that email and I was like, yeah, he copied and pasted that. There's no way he's right.
Hey man, I listen. I took bits and pieces of different ones that I liked. I made it my own. Okay.
Hey, it looks
I just
good. Looks
I just
professional.
needed a little inspiration,
Hey,
and
dude.
probably not gonna lie, Megan did most of it.
There you go. ChatGPT, baby.
Megan did most of it. No, this is pre Chat GPT, but that is a pretty awesome tool that I've been using. But
how you know if you put a disclaimer up at the beginning of this, you don't have to edit near as much.
yeah, this is true. I had to put an explicit one on the last one, which was the first one, but it ain't no big deal. It's
What
not
they
like
say.
just drop some F-bombs and some shits and
We can cover that.
a couple bitches.
Colby's halfway there.
Yeah. Well, guys, welcome to the Tejas Hunt Club podcast. We just hopped into this one and started recording, but today I'm sitting down with Colby May, Jared Erikson, who y'all know, and Bobby Schoen. So I went to high school with these three guys and got to go on my bachelor party trip, and we went to South Florida and we caught some tarpon, and we spent some time cruising around, shooting iguanas out of trees, avoiding the homeless as much as we could. But I wanted to get these guys on the podcast. If you've been looking at our Instagram and Facebook and stuff, I'm sure you've seen the photos. But wanted to have a podcast and sit down and kind of get their take on the trip that we just got back from, and also kind of let y'all hear about how this trip got planned and kind of what they thought about it when I presented it to them in the first place. So. Colby, Jared, Bobby, I guess one at a time. I guess we'll start with Colby, kind of give a little intro about yourself and I guess kind of how we met or something like that.
All right. My name's Colby May. I was actually a transplant from North Texas when me and Bam met. We met my sophomore year of high school, his freshman year. Yeah, my dad had lived. What the fuck, Bob?
Nice. This is going exactly how I thought it would.
That worked.
I knew it would be
Where's
you.
the mute button on this thing?
I knew it would be you.
Oh shit! Let me turn this motherfucker off. Then.
You can edit that out, right?
No, I'm leaving it in.
Yeah. So I moved back to South Texas with my dad my sophomore year of high school, and that's where me and Bam met. Kind of all hit it off real quick. We're involved in a lot of roping activities and horse stuff like that, and then of course we got into the hunting. We just kind of became friends, especially through football.
Yes, sir.
We smashed a lot of heads.
A few.
Yeah. So we had some good times back in the day, and then talked him into joining me with the horse judging in FFA one year, and that turned out to be a wild party more than anything else. Traveling to College Station in Lubbock. My take, I guess, on Miami was freaking great. I didn't plan it. I didn't plan shit. I was just told where to be, where to go. when it was presented to me, like what we were doing, I'm like, dude, that's gonna be fucking wild. Let's do it. I said, and we're gonna be in Miami, right? He's like, yeah, Miami. I'm like, all right, we can do this.
For sure.
If that don't work out with the hunting and fishing, I got another thing we can go. Let's try.
Yes, sir. And then Jared here, we kind of got, everybody knows from listening to the podcast, from going to Idaho and going turkey hunting, all that kind of stuff. So everybody kind of already knows you, but like give a little update on kind of what you've been doing and, what you thought about going on this trip.
I've been moving back to Goliad, Texas, actually. We're finally moved back here and moved in and all settled in for the most part. But for Miami and then the bachelor trip, I think Bob mentioned going down there and we started throwing some ideas around. I know I hadn't tarpon fished and Bam hadn't either. And so I wanted to do something new that we hadn't caught or done yet. And then the iguana piece gotten brought up and I was like, shit, why not? I mean, it sounds like fun. Let's try it out. So it was a hell of a time. Good captain, good iguana guys that we went with as well, badass dogs, and just a good time with good friends. So
for sure, man. And Mr. Bobby Schoen, make sure you got your Skype turned off.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make this through without someone calling me. My name's Bobby Schoen, so I live up in Denver, Colorado, but I met Brandon in about 5th grade, I think it was. But unlike Colby fit in right away. I was not so lucky. Brandon, we didn't get along when we first met, but, I think after time and after him running me over in football enough, it probably just made our friendship. He felt bad or something for me. So made our friendship in football and kind of branched out from there, kind of through high school, hanging out, and so on. So I kind of helped put this trip together. Brandon approached me. He said, I'm thinking about putting together a hunt in Texas to do some deer hunting or some axis hunting or whatever we wanted to get, or the Florida hunt where we get to hunt iguanas. We get to go to Miami, go to Fort Lauderdale, and then we get to fish some tarpon. So that was my choice, and I was persuading him to lean that route because it just sounded so cool, man. And it lived up. Iguana hunting was something I've never seen before, and seeing Brandon with an air rifle was pretty good.
Oh man.
Dead-eye dick.
Fucking deadly. You didn't let him put the crosshair on that lizard.
I killed more Coors Lights than I did iguanas.
Yeah, I was surprisingly I was pretty good with the air rifle, which I've never shot one before. I mean, you of course BB guns or something. I mean, that's kind of close in shooting 22s, but I was pretty happy with my performance that day.
Hey man,
I'm taking you to the carnival, man. We're going to go win some prizes.
Yeah, dude,
for real.
Ducks down.
Yeah. So now that everybody's kind of heard everybody's voice and everything, like you said, we got this trip put together, and I mean, we planned it kind of further back, and then we already knew we were coming the specific weekend we did. We were kind of hoping that it would be a little warmer than what we were receiving back home, because we were leaving some pretty cold temperatures to go to a lot warmer place, and I'm sure glad it worked out that way. Going to Miami, I had my first experience getting a pat down at the airport. So I haven't flown that much. I've only flown, this is like, I can count on one hand how many times I've flown. So I had to go through that experience for the first time. And also, I know I was trying to like make it through without having to take my shoes off. But make sure you bring extra socks when you're wearing flip-flops. Just saying. You got to kind of clean your feet off after that, walking through there barefoot.
He likes that now. Don't let him lie to you. He likes
No, it wasn't nice. Yeah, but made it through security, and we flew out of Austin. Bob flew out of Denver, but me, Jared, and Colby flew out of Austin, so we were all on the same flight. So we got there pretty early, and I mean the flight wasn't bad. Flying doesn't bother me. It's airports. I hate being in airports because security for one, and just it's too many people. But flight was good. Landed in Miami. Bobby got there a little earlier than us, so he went and picked up the car and some beverages, and picked us up in line.
Excellent chauffeur service, like on point at the gate, the terminal, everything, just baggage.
It was
the door.
Awesome. Yeah, like we didn't have to wait. We didn't have to do anything. It was like, I'm telling you right now, if you need a planning service, Bob, you might have a second job here, man. I mean, the logistics were pretty spot on.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. I had snacks and everything. Even the phone charger. We were ready to go.
Did have a phone charger and everything. So I will say, leaving the airport, you see all the videos. This is my first time ever going to Miami, by the way. And I think Jared, Colby, Bob, y'all ever been there before?
No.
Not left the airport.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to let y'all know. In all the videos, it shows, beautiful Miami, and I'm pretty sure they just jumped straight from the airport and just jumped to South Beach because the travel in between there, if you're from Texas, it looks like Corpus Christi. Not even joking.
It's fact.
It looks like you're just going straight down SPID.
Hey,
no lie.
We took the scenic route.
Explain to me. Yeah, definitely. Explain to me when we went to the airport to leave versus when we got there to come, like two completely different paths. I'm looking around going, where the hell was this at when we got here?
I guess, Bob was taking us on the scenic tour.
Dude, I wanted y'all to see all the ins and outs of Miami, dude.
Yeah, we saw him. We definitely saw him.
When you got to like lean back a little bit to kind of hide and hit the lock button on the door, it's like,
Listen, when there's bars on the windows and bars on the doors and then bars on those bars, that neighborhood has problems.
Why they got some good stuff?
That's true. That's true.
That's funny. But yeah, so we traveled through not so good Miami, and then we got as we traveled further from that area, it got a little better, and then it was like 30, 45-minute drive up to Fort Lauderdale where we had the Airbnb at, and that was pretty nice. A little drive there. Get to see a little bit of the water and stuff as we were going, some big-ass boats and yachts and everything.
What did Bob say? Oh, there's white people running. That's freer.
Yeah. It's a safe neighborhood. It's white people walking around.
I don't think I said that one, but I'll take credit.
Somebody said it.
It might have been me.
Yeah.
But when there's walking dogs and stuff, it's like we're good in this area. But yeah, we pulled in there, got everything unloaded, and then decided on a place to go eat, which, I mean, I like Twin Peaks. It has good food, and apparently from the sign on the front, good scenic views. So we went and ate there and kind of decided on what we were going to do for our first night. We kind of had to wake up early to go tarpon fishing, to get down where we were launching from. So we had a little bit of a drive that next morning, so we didn't want to get too wild. So went and ate at Twin Peaks and got a little cold beverages, and then went to one of the local bars that they have in Fort Lauderdale.
It's like
called the Roundup. That was Bob's pick of his Google search of local bars and hangouts in the Fort Lauderdale area, and it had a couple pool tables and a whole lot of line dancing.
Understatement.
Hey, I don't
Understood.
regret that
Joe ain't
decision.
got shit on this place. I guarantee you that.
We did get to
Watching.
see some action outside with what was oh man, the inebriated one.
Oh yeah, homegirl that was playing in the tournament. She was pissed
Yeah.
drunk before she started and on a stretcher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
walked outside
Yeah.
to the EMS and cops waiting on her, carrying her off. But so made our way back to the Airbnb, kind of hung out for the rest of the night, made us a little, well, tried to make a little fire first night, but then it was a little too cold, so went back in the house and chilled out and went to sleep. And we woke up the next morning and headed south to Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah.
Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah, Hollywood, Florida. So right outside of Miami, in between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. And then went down to the boardwalk, which is pretty nice. If you want to eat some good food, I can't remember the name of the place, but they had some good prawns and different restaurants and
not?
stuff. Oh yeah, why not? And then there's a bunch of different restaurants down on that little strip too. We were sitting there talking about how cool it would be to have that down in Port A or Corpus or something where you could just eat right on the beach and stuff like that. But ain't no way that's happening. Not down here.
Dude, the quality of food that was on that thing was way above expected. Like it
For
was
sure.
legit. Like both the places that we went down there were great.
Yeah, it wasn't just like like carny food or hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff. Of course, there was a couple places I think that had hamburgers, but it was good seafood. It was different mix. You had Italian food, you had Spanish or Hispanic food, Latin food. It wasn't like Mexican like we have here. It was more like Cuban and stuff like that. But it was pretty good. But got some lunch down there. Then we loaded up with Captain Tim, who was a character in himself, man.
For sure.
I should, we already said we want to go fishing again with him, but I should give him a shout, see if he wants to hop on the podcast and kind of talk about it, because he was a pretty cool dude.
Yep.
Like we couldn't, Jared, kudos to you, man, because we couldn't have picked a better guide for a fishing trip. Like, sorry, Barrett. You're a good one too, but this one for just picking one out of a straw hat and saying let's go, like, dude, it was a good pick for sure. So I did have a little bad luck, and thought the trip was going to be like a little jinx because, stepping onto the boat, I lost my Montana Knife Company knife. Somehow I think I pulled it out of the scabbard and it fell in the water. So thought the trip was going to be jinxed after that, but I did attempt to try and find it, but that water is pretty cold, and we'll just give Josh Smith and them a call and get a new one.
That's posted, isn't it?
No, I didn't post that one. I got it
You need
though.
to put it in the podcast.
Listen, I'll drop it right here in the podcast, and it'll play in the video.
What you doing, Brandon?
We're supposed to be catching fish. You already followed. You might as well just go.
By the way, your nipples are already wet. When your nipples deep, you may as well go.
Shit.
He's going.
Okay, some shit down there.
It gets dark fast.
So I did attempt to it. Like I said, get the knife, but that water was pretty cold. It was probably like 74 degrees outside. So I mean, like, that water wasn't too warm, and it's just dang near like doing a cold plunge for sure.
Grabbed you right by the berries, and you didn't want no part of that.
Sir. No. Like I haven't been doing no breath work. I haven't been working on holding my breath.
Oh,
like,
you were.
Yeah, you'll see the video. Like, that water was no joke, man.
Like, the water's over your nipples already. It's done. Like, go get your ass down there and get it.
I couldn't even hold my breath. Like, the cold was too much. Not even gonna lie. I got to work on that. Got to step my cold plunge game up. Then maybe we'll go. But next year when we go back, I'll be better prepared, and I'll dive down, see if it's still there. Either that, or we'll stop at Harbor Freight and bring a freaking magnet and try to pick it up.
What do you mean next year? Let's do this in October when they're making their run.
Well,
let's spend a day like nailing these bitches in the water where
we could
everybody's just plumb worn out.
Okay, depends on if I can find another hunting spot, maybe, because I need to shoot a deer, or we can go do that. But I might be able to sacrifice one weekend.
You need to shoot a deer? Like, you need to shoot a deer, or you just need meat?
Both.
I got you
I can
covered.
hook you up with the meat,
Oof. Don't say it
and
like
he can hook up with just shooting something.
that. Don't say it like that.
We can't say it like that.
Just don't say it like to me like that.
It's old. I mean, it's old school shit. I got a lot to give around.
That's funny, but yeah, we'll work that out. But yeah, we can plan another trip in October and go back hang out with Tim again. But we got on the boat, we started out, and it was kind of different. Like I watched a lot of tarpon videos, snook videos, people from Florida fishing all the time, and most of them are like kind of throwing live bait at docks and different things like that. But so I didn't really know what to expect how we were going to fish for these tarpon. So we weren't fly fishing for them. I haven't gotten that good, but I was interested to see how we were going to do it. So basically, we were just slow trolling in between $1 million condos with live bait that Captain Tim cast netted out and picked up some mullet, and we had him in a live well. And basically, we would get to a spot where he's seen them before or had history of seeing tarpon, and basically we just slow trolled and watched the fish scanner and let the live baits. We had a long, two long baits or two short baits and a long bait.
It was like one was about 15 yards, one was about 25, and the other was 30 to 35 yards behind the boat.
Yeah. So then we just slow trolled in between these different, I guess, ponds, I guess you'd call them, or different like waterways that were in between these condos. And when I say in between condos, I mean they're literally waterfront condos in South Florida.
That they don't care about. So this is a no wake. So look at those guys on the pontoon boat. This is no wake.
And there's some people hanging out, on their balcony and stuff like that. And we're just trolling around looking for these tarpon. So every now and then we'd see like either bait scatter or like birds somewhere. And then
the tarpon roll. Remember, we were looking for that roll.
Yeah, we were looking for them rolling to see where they were, and then also looking at the fish finder, like the Garmin that he had on there, and trying to see them that way too. So we saw some starting out pretty quick. When we got to the spot where he was like, "This is where we're going to start trolling," not soon after we were seeing a tarpon roll in the distance, either off to the left or out in front. So he was kind of aiming to put us in between there. And I mean, there's a couple shots that we saw that were pretty close, but either were near the bait, missed the bait, or just like barely just mess with it. And it was funny because y'all saw it too, that every time we would get close to them, you could figure it out because baits would just start moving. And it was kind of, you could watch the tips of those rods just move around, and you could tell, okay, like there's something chasing after them or something like that. So like that was pretty cool to see. And then looking back, and you're trying to watch the bait and seeing which one's moving more and which way he's going, and trying to watch for that fish to bite, or just trying to and it was weird because it's not really like a top water bite to me. Like it was almost like the water would just open up pretty much, and it would just be a hole there. Like you watch redfish and trout eat on top and stuff like that, and it's like them coming on top and you see the fish. Like, but tarpon, it's like a black hole, and then it just like sucks the bait down. And then if they miss, it left a hole in the water that you could sit there and watch, and it just spun around where they were. But we saw a bunch that had a bunch of misses and stuff, so it was kind of discouraging at first, but like you knew they were there,
Yeah, them fish got problems. They missed a lot. Like a lot. It's almost like they're closing their eyes when they get anywhere close, like just praying that it goes in their mouth.
Pretty much. Like that's what it looked like.
Yeah, and with those circle hooks, we couldn't, like when they'd hit, you got to give them time. There's a few that hit, hooked up for a bit, and just didn't get.
So after those couple misses and then like those couple bites that just didn't catch, we were kind of moving from the first general area we were at and kind of made it to another area that he kind of, knew some tarpon were there. And this is the part where like we kind of started seeing them on the fish finder more, and just seeing like little groups of them and kind of knowing that like, hey, we're about to pass over them right now. And then kind of here it goes.
Yeah, he was getting that side. He had the fish finder where you could see had the side view, and we were seeing the full fish in the shadow like that it creates on the finder, and that was pretty wicked. Like, hey, and then as soon as we would see it on that and the back end of it, the fish would be, or the bait was going crazy. So the rod would start going within like 20, 30 seconds of us seeing them on that side view.
Yeah, yeah. So then after doing that for a little while, we caught the first one. And luckily, I had these nice gentlemen here let me go first, but also said that I had to be the only one they had to pull this fish in. And it was a struggle for a little bit, but I knew like I wasn't gonna quit. Like there was no way. I might take a break, which I did take a couple breaks. You'll see in the video when I drop it on the YouTube channel.
You got the whole video?
Oh yeah, I got the whole video. Jared
then don't lie
videoed the
to
whole
everybody.
thing.
That fish whipped your ass.
Oh, it did. Like
you was sweating bullets, Bubba.
Listen, if you want to drop in the comments that I'm a sissy or something else for pulling in a 70-pound tarpon,
no.
do it yourself. That's all I'm saying. You try it one time, then come talk to me. That's all I'm saying. But
Captain Tim was motivating you though. He was talking shit to you the whole freaking time.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why he was such a good captain. Like you get those guys sometimes they're like real serious about catching fish. Like don't get me wrong. Like if I go on a trip, I want to catch fish. But like if you're like being like kind of an a-hole about it, like that's no fun. But he was like generally like cracking jokes the whole time. We had a good conversation with him rolling out, talking about A&M and Miami and UT, and he was a Florida Gator fan, and like it was just like I said, from this moment we got on the boat with him, like it was just a good time, just having all kind of cool conversation. And he said even at the end of it that like he had probably the most fun he had in a while, just because he could do that bullshit with us and stuff. But yeah, he was giving me shit the whole time. Well,
what he said to his wife was what got me. Telling her like, "Hey, don't worry about what time we're done. If the fish are biting, we're fishing. Like, forget the time that he's a guide. Like, we're fishing."
Yeah. We just talked about Captain Tim's Lucky Cigars because that's legit.
Oh,
that is. I almost forgot about that. That is what got it going when we got to that second spot. He was said he was a big cigar guy, and he had brought some on the boat, and he lit that cigar, and you like I said, you'll see in the video, he was puffing on it pretty hard. We were reeling in that tarpon. and he was generally excited. Like I said, man, that fish kicked my ass, and because they're strong, and watching them jump like that. Like I said, I've watched hundreds of videos. I don't know how many hours of videos of tarpon fishing from different folks on YouTube and stuff, and watching the content on Instagram. And it was every single bit of what you see in those videos. Like easily best fish I'll ever caught. And then hopefully you might go 2 for 2. Megan and I are going to Belize for our honeymoon, so might get to go catch one in South America too. But
hey, you remember when you caught that thing and like he got up off the boat deck and he had that short cigar and it was all wet because that tarpon smacked him in the face.
Dude, he was in it. Captain Tim was in it for the win, man. He really wanted us to see that fish up close, and he, like he said, when we were reeling it in, he was coaching me the whole time through to get that fish up to the boat so we could take a look at him. And he hand lined it in there and got it up next to the boat, and we got to see like I said, the coolest fish I've ever caught.
Yeah,
just swimming alongside the boat.
Cool. Really cool.
And then he let him go, and he went back into the water.
All right, reel a little more, Brandon. This is a good fish, guys. Leader touch. That's another catch. Hang on, Newt. All right, a little bit of gear. Just barely in gear.
All right, just barely. We're just flowing.
Neutral.
And we all looked at each other and like anybody would after seeing their first tarpon and kind of celebrated. And then Captain Tim looked at us and said, "Hey boys, let's try and get another one. Let's do it again." Mm-hmm. And this one kind of took a little bit longer. And this time, after that first fish, the conversation with Captain Tim just kept getting funnier and funnier and funnier. And I don't know if it was because we were, finishing off the case of beers that we had.
That was the second 18.
We was catching something other than fish. Just having a good time.
Having a good time. Just slow trolling baits around looking for tarpon, man.
Hey, you forgot about your little fan club that you had when you caught your fish
Yeah, dude.
from the
Oh,
condos.
That's right.
yeah. Speaking of that, we did have a little fan club, and I imagine if I lived down there, I'd want to sit on my balcony too and just watch people catch tarpon. Like, I'd want to go catch it too, but like, you could just walk out in the afternoon, have your nice cigar, nice little cold beverage, just watch people catch tarpon, and dude, that'd be so awesome. But yeah, they were cheering for us and everything, and that was pretty cool to see. You didn't have like any Karens around, like, don't catch the fish, you're hurting it, let it go, any of that stuff. So it was cool to have like people that are around it pretty much every day actually cheer guys fishing on. So that was pretty cool. But after that first one, like I said, it kind of took a little bit longer to catch that second one. And since we were moving along watching the baits and stuff, Colby was the one that picked up this rod. And from the start, I was telling Colby to make sure that he's the one that stays on it the whole time, reels it all the way up. Since I did it,
fuck you,
and accomplished it,
bro.
Yeah,
okay.
What? I mean, hey.
Okay. So I do have
doable.
I have a slight injury, and I felt that in all of 30 seconds after having that fish on the line. So yeah, I've got some lower back.
I'll give you this too. That one was a little bigger. It was a little bit
20
bigger.
pounds heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it's no big deal. But no, it was
no big deal.
I will say that was a fun experience. And honestly, getting to see you catch it, that first one, and doing all that had more fun in it than that fish or even the iguana hunting. Like, getting you on that fish, making you fucking work for that, and bring you all the way in.
Yeah,
that was good.
Colby was working the boat. Remember, he was.
Yeah, no, I had another job.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give him credit. If you watch the video, you hear Captain Tim, you notice he's working the fish, and obviously there's somebody that's moving the boat around, and that was Colby. So he was, a real good second mate to Captain Tim.
It's a first mate. There's only Tim, the captain, and me.
Oh well. Oh well.
Yeah, I have a little bit of boat experience, but that was an easy transition doing that, helping you out, get your fish on.
If it had been the other way around, we'd have been SOL because there's no. I'd have tried. I'd have gave an effort, But
no, I enjoyed the shit.
I don't know if I got it done.
I could just see Brandon just.
No, easy.
Let's pull it on
you. Yeah. Let's just drag it like a calf.
but yeah, no, that was a fun experience. And then catching the fish on the line, man, people just don't realize just how much power those things have. And we're at 100-pound fish. They grow up. What did he say? That fly fish was 286 on a fly? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. The Florida state record, 286-pound tarpon.
And I don't know what line we were using, but like, that was a fight. Like, it took 30 minutes a piece for those fish just to land them. Like, and you're going to catch this on a fly? Like, nuh-uh. Like, so every bit of that fish, I felt right at the center of the bottom of my back the entire time pulling. And I got to the point like, look, I'm not doing this no more. Like, I physically can't. Like, I'm about to break over. So hand the rod off to Bob and let Bob finish it off, and it wore his ass out too.
Honestly, like, I still had, after Colby's 20 minutes, I still had another 15, 20 at that. And I felt bad because Jared set up the whole fishing trip, and I was like elbowing him, like, get away. So I still have Jared.
He grabbed that rod real quick, son.
Yeah. I was like, Colby, let me take that. Don't rip her spoon.
Yeah, Bob wanted a piece.
Fucking have it.
Bob wanted a little piece of it.
And what was Tim doing? He was talking shit the whole time. Oh, you can't bring it in? Like, you're going to do this? You're just going to hand it off? You're going to do a bitch like that?
His favorite line, and I'm going to add it to my word list, but he said, "Don't let me catch the rod on your skirt when you hand it to me."
Yeah,
that was a good one. He's like, "Yeah, Don't let that rod catch on your skirt when you hand it to me.
Man, he had a lot of one-liners that I was like, dang, dude.
He did.
Dude, he had some good ones. I know. I should have been writing them down. I said I would remember them, but that never happened.
Yeah, you need to watch that video and just listen for the one-liners back, dude.
Yeah, we had the GoPro going, so we caught some stuff of that. It was him talking for sure.
I got money says if we go back and we hook up with Tim again, we're gonna get all them one-liners again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Maybe
so we're gonna get it ingrained.
I think there might be more than that. I think we just
iceberg.
That's what I'm saying. Like that'll be the thing. Like the next time we go with him, he'll just hit us with a whole new set. Like he won't even bring up the old stuff. Like he won't even talk about that. He'll just have a whole new set ready for us.
Let's hit him up for a full day instead of just the half.
That we can, like I said.
Hey, I bet we can get Tim turned if it's a full day. Like, hey, bud, party with us now. Now that he knows all of us, he's gonna be super comfortable. I'm like,
yeah. Well, he said when we were leaving, we asked him if he wanted to go eat dinner with us, and he said all we had to do was call his wife and get permission. So next time we might just have to give her a call. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when we book it, we'll just be like, go ahead and just tell your wife after we get done fishing, you're gonna come out and eat dinner with us. We'll have a good time.
Hey,
bring the wife. Have her drive the boat.
Oh yeah. I mean, she can come too. I don't know. I don't know if Tim will be himself. You know, he might try to be on his best behavior. You know, if his wife is around.
It's fair.
So we might just have to let her DD and pick him up or something.
But hey,
yeah,
I would talk to her.
Well, but I will say,
man, we'll set Bob up.
Honestly, if I was
hey, whoa! Time out! Do not talk to her like the other ones.
No,
I would talk to her.
You can't.
I would talk to her.
You know, we're not letting you talk to nobody.
Come on, dude.
We're just gonna leave. No. That's all right. We'll let you handle the logistics and the driving, and we're just not gonna let you talk to nobody. Nobody's feelings getting hurt.
She's married. She's been married for like 40 years. Like you ain't got to worry about her questioning existence.
I question Bob. I question him.
Hey, someone wronged that boy in his life.
Hey man,
somebody did.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm a man of genius, baby.
Yeah, he was definitely trying to preach the word.
the word was given.
The word was given. I changed lives.
You damn sure changed one. No, let's go with 2. We can't forget the roundup.
Yeah. Oh, you changed some lives for sure.
Hey,
that's funny. Oh man, but yeah.
I gotta take him more places.
You really want
have
to?
Some fun.
You really?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. If I don't have to say it, and my conscience is good, even though I'm like wanting to, sign me up.
Yeah, dude. There's no filter.
I've
got a slight one, but it's only just like just because I know I'm in public and I'm like, you really shouldn't say that.
Hey,
I'm not trying to get kicked out of this motherfucker right now.
Hey, you never know if you're going to get kicked out of a place unless you say something or do something. Then they'll let you know.
Oh, they will.
But I think we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, bam. Letting this fucking railroad in another direction.
What I was impressed the most with Captain Tim is like the fact that a lot of the guys were like, "Oh, it's not tarpon season. It's not this," and Captain Tim was like, "We're gonna find some tarpon. Y'all want to go tarpon fishing? We'll find them." Like,
yeah, that's true.
How was that? Because he seemed totally down for everything.
Yeah, whenever I was looking for guides and stuff, they, most of them wanted to go offshore, do like sail fishing or something like that, offshore fishing. That's kind of what they were doing this time of year. But he was on the money. I mean, he got back with me real quick via email, and then we started texting, and he said that. He was like, "Hey, if y'all want to go tarpon, I know where they're at. We got to go further south." And he was game for it. I've been with a lot of guides here in Texas and not taking anything away from them, but his hospitality, man, was crazy. I mean, you crinkle a beer can and he's throwing it away and getting you another one, and he lights you a cigar and hand it to you. And I mean, the jokes and we just had a great time. It couldn't have been a better fishing trip for a bachelor party.
Yeah, it wasn't like you said, it wasn't like fishing with a guide. It was like kind of like going fishing with your uncle.
Yeah,
Damn near,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure. It's like going fishing with your uncle. Oh yeah. So, like I said, I had a good time with Tim. Shout out to him. If you want, Jared, I'm sure you guys still got his information and everything. I'll drop it in the show notes. But make sure when you call him that you heard it here. So we get the hookup. That's how that works. We help you out. You help us out. That's how that works.
That'd be nice. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Like,
Exactly, man. We went out and tested him. Now we're giving the stamp of approval and handing it off to you. We did all the legwork for you. That's all I'm saying.
the puns just keep rolling with this one.
Oh yeah.
I will say I'd love to go fishing with him during the run, man. I think it would be. He said he was talking about like quad hookups and stuff. Could y'all imagine one with a fish on?
Dude, fucking having to go back and forth and crossing each other trying to land these bastards.
Oh, dude, I'd be throwing elbow wheels away and stuff. Shit,
dude, that would be fun. Just all four hooked up at the same time, just tarpon jumping around. Like I couldn't even imagine. We're gonna try and make it happen.
We would be such little bitches. Like if we were gonna be like, oh my god, somebody help me. Oh, they can't. Like you got to keep fucking cranking on it.
But what is this we?
Yeah,
we made you.
Wait a minute. I mean, I already did it.
You caught the baby. Come on.
But I mean, I already did it. I don't know.
We're not talking. Hey! It's the run. We're not. This is not a 100-pound fish. This is a 200-pound fish.
That ain't nothing.
Yeah, nothing. All right.
Hey, dude,
he does push-ups every day.
See,
that's
remember
right.
that conversation?
He does do the push-ups
I'm just
every
saying,
day now.
At least 100 push-ups a day.
Except for the bachelor party, we slacked.
I did slack off for 2 days, and I didn't. But every other day this year, I've gotten them done. So we're gonna keep on rolling, and by then, shoot, plus working out some more, which I need to start doing, we'll be ready to go, dude. I'll be two-handing them. Have a rod in each hand.
Dude. I can just see you with like the back press deal and just.
If you seen that meme of that guy, he's like picking up like a curl bar like he's shooting. I'm gonna be doing that, reeling.
I'm just seeing Bam with 2 rods.
Yeah,
side pressure.
Yeah,
side pressure.
Yeah, just switching them like this, just like that, back and forth.
Oh shit!
Like what, Brandon?
Hey, like this.
Oh, nice.
Oh, see, I thought he went the other way with it. Yeah. No.
A little too much wrist action, but
hey, man, catching tarpon. Funny. So after getting our butts whooped by those tarpon that day, we went back to the boardwalk and went and ate some pretty good pizza, and kind of decided we were just gonna go grab some more beer and go chill at the house because the next day we were doing what we had set out. Yeah, we had to be there a little earlier, and what we set out, we wanted to be well rested for what we really set out to come down to South Florida for, and that was shoot iguanas. So, like I said, went back to the house, chilled around. We made a fire that night. We were successful in creating a small flame in the piece of fire pit that we had there at the Airbnb, and hung out for a little bit. And woke up that next morning, and we headed north that day, right?
We did.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so we headed north that day. Yeah, West Palm Beach. To meet up with Matt, who actually follows me on Instagram. So shout out to him. And what was the other guy's name? Captain Timbo. And like once again, we struck gold in finding guides for a hunting trip. So we'll drop their information. It's actually through Python Cowboy. If you've seen any of his stuff on YouTube or Instagram, he's a dude down in the Everglades that catches pythons. He's a state trapper for the state of Florida, and that's his job. So he's got some pretty cool dogs that find pythons and retrieve iguanas. And so if you haven't already, go check out his YouTube and stuff because it's some pretty cool content. And he catches some pretty large pythons, which I tried to talk these guys into doing while we were down there, but they were all scared. They were all scared and didn't want to do it.
Man, just
Like,
think
I
about a
was
snake, you know?
like, come on, man,
I mean,
really?
you'll do it.
I'm just gonna let you know, if we keep going back down there, it's gonna happen.
Hey, I'm down. Look, I'm down. I'll do it. But I knew
if we keep going back down there, it's gonna happen.
I knew that it would be like
I'll grab a hold of it.
we could go shoot, 10, 15 iguanas, have a good day. That was their good day. And then or get one python. I don't know how many pythons they get. Surely it's not like 10 to 15, right?
Hey, you never know. I seen an episode on his YouTube channel when he caught like four of them in a big old mating ball. So it was like one female and 3 males all tangled up together.
That's all we need is a bunch of snake jizz all over our hands.
Yeah.
No.
And listen, and if you think about it too, if you catch a female on a den or whatever, and she's got eggs, I think one of his episodes said that they can have up to like 53 eggs. So if we catch a female and a whole bunch of eggs, that's more iguanas.
Fair.
So,
but if you
that's what I'm saying.
Wait. It's more iguanas because the python's not eating the iguanas?
No, I'm saying because it's one female and a whole bunch of eggs. We killed 32 iguanas, right? So all we would have to do is catch one female and 33 eggs.
I don't know, Brandon, because we killed guaranteed like probably 40 plus, I think, that we got. And if you count all the eggs,
there's a shitload in the water.
It'd be a toss-up. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
It'd be a
toss-up.
What do you say? They can have, 80 eggs a year, the iguanas?
Yeah, something like that.
A lot.
It was pretty close to what pigs can do, because I remember right after he said it, it was like we were like, oh, so they're like pigs almost. So it's like pretty close to that. But yeah, so when we actually shot some that had eggs in them, I was watching some videos. Some of them people ate them, but I didn't. I wasn't about.
Didn't he say something like that was like the river initiation or something?
Yeah,
like
I wouldn't get into
buy you caviar, baby.
That's all right. I'd have ate one if we'd have cooked it, but I don't know about eating a raw egg.
It's a raw egg. Have you never had a raw egg out of a chicken?
Yeah, but that's a chicken.
It's a chicken. Oh, it's a chicken. Yeah. They got notorious for salmonella, but we're not gonna worry about the iguana.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I like the chicken better.
Yeah.
We met up with these guys and hopped on the boat, and we had a dog with us that retrieved. She was still in training, but she was a pretty good dog. Once we started getting going, she got a whole lot better, but it took a little while to warm up at first. But her name wasn't it
Rogue?
Rogue. Yeah,
Rogue.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure she's like a German Wirehair or something like GSP cross kind of, but good looking dog, man. I mean, she minded well. Like I said, she just had to get it warmed up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we started rolling out, and basically what we're doing is traveling down these canals, pretty much through the city. There he is. Hey! Right in the middle of town, baby. Yeah. Gotta love it. I mean, there was along the highway shooting air guns, and we're shooting. It was 25 caliber or 22.
I'd say 25. Yeah,
I think it was the 25 caliber pellets. So it had an air tank on the boat, and they hook it up to the gun, refill it as it would go down. But basically, that's what we were doing, just cruising on the boat, drinking cold beverages, right through the middle of town. And
the wildest thing for me is as soon as we got on the boat and we're kind of puddling around that lake there, when that plane came right over us, we're right at the end of the runway, and I was like, man,
pretty much
with air rifles, just planes going over us, people, bridges. This is a crazy place.
Dude, Florida is a real crazy place. I got another story about Florida after we get to talk about this podcast. We might drop it at the end.
But for real, you're on this boat, you're on a fishing boat.
Yeah.
With
that they had
AR
just picked
style
up that day.
rifles.
That they had just picked up that day
Yeah.
and hadn't driven in a while.
Yeah,
Because we didn't have an ice chest.
But you got two guys on the front of this thing with AR style rifles, look like suppressors off the front of them, just cruising down the canals, cars going by both sides of you, people everywhere. It's like Florida is wild. Like nobody's gotten shot. Like there's no rules. Like what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have laws, but they're like recommended.
They're not like, that true story. True, like I said, I got a story to tell y'all. But yeah, so we're just cruising around. Like I said, we kind of started off a little slow, getting them in the boat. But like once we started finding them, and that sun started getting warmer, and we kind of started. I mean, most of the time you go hunting, you're going out when it's still dark. But he had told us, we're going to go about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I think it was like 10:30 when we got there. Started really rolling. And where they're up in these trees trying to get sun to warm up because they're reptiles and they're cold-blooded. So, and like I said, it was getting cooler at night. So they were really trying to get out in the sun. And we, like I said, we caught it on a good day. When, like Bob said earlier, when we asked them, like, what was a good day for them, they said it was 10 to 15 if the guys can shoot, like that was good. And we wound up putting 32 in the boat. I mean, like I said, once we started rolling on them, they were just popping up in the trees. And like, even we started finding them, and because it was hard at first. Like that's the hardest part is finding them. You're looking for a green iguana in the top of a green tree. Like it's not easy.
That we thing is pretty exaggerated. You probably put like 25.
Yeah, dude, you had a good day.
Look,
like you didn't. If we didn't get it on the first shot, they were in the water. Done.
I had a good day. Yeah, I probably next time I go back, it probably won't even be like. I probably won't even be able to like throw a freaking hole.
Nah, you gonna make sure you got that circle with the fucking dot scope, and you just gonna plink them. Blink, blink,
Yeah,
blink, blink.
like I might come back with my own. I'm just saying. He said
Now we're talking.
That was too much. He said it was $3,000 for one of those ones that they had, and if I'm spending $3,000, it's probably gonna be a real gun, not a.
Hey, I think that was a real gun though, man. That thing was pretty bad.
Hey, when the homeless were like, "Hey, don't shoot us, we're over here."
Yeah, that was wild.
Dude, yeah. So they obviously have a homeless problem, like most states do, which it's a sad deal. There's a whole bunch of things that could be done to fix it. Blah 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 blah. But they were kind of camped out. And the first one we rolled up on, Captain Timbo was like, I got some Airbnbs, waterfront property, and then we look over and it's tents. So in the mix, we kind of got to shooting. We came up on like a pretty good group of iguanas. Like I'm pretty sure there's about 3 or 4 in that same tree, and it was kind of over some tents. And like you don't know if there's anybody really in there or not, or like what's going on. So we weren't shooting in the tent's general direction, but I'm sure if you were laying in that tent and you heard what was going on, it would probably be pretty scary. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, they weren't in any immediate danger, but it sounded scary.
Yeah. We were lighting that tree up, dude. We got like 4 or 5 out of that tree. We were just
You're in the background. Hey, hi.
Sorry, we didn't know you were in there. But yeah, we got like 3 or 4 out of that tree, which added to the pile that we already had going.
Jared with 2 out of the pile, son. And we still got more in the bush.
And basically, we just cruised down this canal the whole time, just looking for different spots where there were iguanas. And we made it all the way down to a kind of a spot where we had to turn around. I think there was like a dam or something right there. So we kind of cruised back and kind of looked for them like a little bit faster. And when we first got on the boat, Captain Timbo had told us about this dragon, the ghost iguana that they had been looking for. And I don't know if he set this up, but it worked. and happened like something out of a movie, like no joke.
They
He
had a
told us,
halter on it with a lead rope, bro.
dude, I still say they had that iguana tied up in that tree, and like it was already dead, and like they just do that at the end every single time. Oh, there he is! Like,
No, it was legit.
It's good.
but I'm just telling you, that's what it seemed like. Because he tells us about this iguana, and he explains it. He's like, "Oh, this big old iguana. He's orange and lime green and everything." And finally, we come around this corner where he heads to where he usually is, right? And he even tells us when we're pulling up. He's like, "Yeah, he's gonna be, probably right around this area right here." We're cruising around, and we come around this corner, and he goes, "There he is!" And Jared and I are in the front of the boat at this time, and we look up, and I'm as accurately as he described this iguana at the beginning of the day, there he sat on that tree limb, just right in broad daylight, in a hole with the sun just beaming down on his back. Like I said, like in a movie, like the tree just parted, and there he was, just sitting there. And Jared and I both raised up. We shot this iguana, and it took a couple shots to put him down. And like when we first saw him, you could visibly tell that like he was like bigger than the rest of the iguanas that we had already shot and put in the boat. But I was not prepared for when that dog brought him back, and he kind of flipped him. And I'll put the clip in it because I posted the clip actually today as we're recording this podcast on the Instagram. But when he flips this thing back and he hits the deck on that boat, like it's next to the rest of them, he was easily 3 times bigger than all the rest of them.
Huge.
Massive lizard.
Like I put his head on the boat and his tail was up here at my shoulder. Like, I mean, I'm not a tall guy by any means, but that's a big ass iguana.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a monster, man.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was ending the trip, ending that hunt like with something out of a movie, just coming perfectly together at the end. And even, I mean,
you can hear Timbo's excitement.
Yeah, exactly. When
when
we put that iguana on the boat, like he was excited too. And like I said, from Tim and then Timbo's excitement as guides, like we couldn't have had a better trip on that. But like I'm hopefully they haven't called me yet. I probably should call them based on, because I was gonna get that one mounted, but and get on a little driftwood piece that they put together. So hopefully we'll get that guy back and we'll hang him somewhere. Maybe we'll have to find a spot somewhere in here. Maybe over here.
Put him on your fireplace.
Yeah. Oh, over the fire. Well, it's not really a fireplace. It's more like one of those old school like fire, like just a stove, like an old like wood stove.
Wood burning stove.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, you.
So it doesn't have like
you pioneering it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that sucker gets hot, dude. Like,
cook on top of that damn thing.
Megan fired it up one day when it was like 48, and I was like, "No, ma'am, we can't. No, we gotta be below freezing if we're gonna put wood in this thing." Which it was. We did use it the other week, but like it's got to be that cold to fire that thing up. Because if not, this whole place is like being in hell.
Brandon, you could put that iguana in front of you so you can pet it during your podcast.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Like a little cat.
Like that.
Brandon,
That's how I'd start the podcast every week. Just petting the iguana.
Hey, everybody.
God.
You want to see my lizard?
I don't think I can do
what's
that.
going to be the name for the iguana? That's what I want to know.
My name is Jeff.
What were we gonna name the iguana? I don't know, man. I'd have to think about that one for
Like
a
Scarlet or something?
Name it Sheldon. Oh, Scarlett's a good name.
I thought about that. But it's not a girl. It's he, and I'm not trying to misgender him. But he is a man, Bobby. He is a man, so he identifies as a man.
Hey, next door was Rick's.
We can name Rick the iguana.
Rick.
Yeah. Rick. Well, okay. That'll be the iguana's name, Rick.
There we go. I'm glad that's decided. That's been on my mind.
I'm sure it's been on your mind, Bob.
Check that one off.
Check that off my list for sure. Dude, I was surprised how hard those things were to kill. We got some in the boat that we hit like twice.
Yeah, they take multiple shots to the. If you don't hit them in the head, if you're doing body shots, you'll be there all day.
Yeah.
They're just gonna hop in the water and swim away.
And
Like it was crazy to see them swim though. Like after being shot like that, they're just like didn't even phase me.
yeah, and like some we brought in had like legs blown off and stuff. Like, what?
Yeah, they're better than 50 Cent.
They take a few rounds.
It takes a few rounds if you don't hit them right where you need to hit them. But yeah, and they look like freaking little mini Godzillas.
They do.
Like when they were swimming away. Like if you ever seen the movie Godzilla, when he's swimming in the water, that's what these iguanas. I'm pretty sure that's what he was because they're like whatever.
Yeah.
If you seen the movie like dropped a nuke or whatever, and the iguana grew all big. I think that's what he was.
Yeah,
but
the irradiation didn't make you glow. It just like
yeah, but. And that's exactly what they look like. Just little mini dragons. Like, it'd have been cool if they'd have breathed fire. That'd have been, like, a little added bonus.
No.
No. Why not?
We're using the wrong fucking ammunition then. We need to be using 22s. Just blasting these little bastards.
ARs.
I want shit that fucking splatters when it hits a boom. No.
Yeah.
Breathing fire, iguana.
There were so many.
I watched too much Game of Thrones. There was like that. You could probably do that every day and still not even put a dent in them.
Yeah, and I feel like
that female that we shot. Like how many eggs? She had 12 or 14 eggs on her or something like that.
At least 10.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then we tried to shoot some pigeons. But apparently the pigeons were too small of a target, which
for some South Texas dove hunters, we're some awful fucking shots.
Hey, listen, I will say right now,
hit a pigeon to save our fucking life.
If you'd have handed me a 20 gauge, I'd have hit some. If you'd have handed me a 12 gauge, we'd have shot every pigeon that was there.
Well, yeah, look how many fucking beads go out. 20, you got a pretty good chance.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, but it was just usually they roll under the waves.
You got to stack the odds in your favor.
It was kind of like you're still dealing with the waves. We'll blame it on the waves. That's what we're gonna blame it on.
Yeah,
because it takes you some time to get used to shooting like that because you are moving around. Like it's not, you don't set up.
Yeah, it's not like standing on flat ground. You got to kind of like rock with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I said, once you figure it out, it gets easier. But at first, it was a little tough.
You do that snap shooting like you do in South Texas down the Senderas for deer.
Yeah.
Like you see a head, that's all you're gonna see. So you might as well put it right below their neck and just pull the trigger. Like don't wait, don't line up. Just that's all you're gonna get.
That's it.
Go.
But it was a good trip. I suggest if you haven't heard about hunting iguanas, I'm sure you've heard about fishing for tarpon. But if you haven't heard about gone or thought about hunting iguanas, you should definitely add it to your list. It's a pretty cheap trip, split between a couple friends. It's a great bachelor party idea. It's a good time. So, like I said, I'll put all the information from the trip and everything in the description below. And Jared, I guess, is the only one that really has Instagram. So if you want to follow Jared, you can. Bobby doesn't his Instagram listen. Colby just gets on and looks at other people's stuff.
I'm on my wife's shit because if I have my own, I'm getting in trouble. I'm not about that life anymore.
So
Facebook free since '93. I'm out.
They didn't have Facebook in '93.
Exactly. I had no problems in '93 either. I was worried about the Cowboys winning a championship.
Oh, you'll be worried about that.
You and me both, brother.
Fuck you.
You'll be worried about that for a while. But if you're not following the Tejas Hunt Club, please follow us on Instagram. Hit up the YouTube channel, subscribe. Bar MC Media will have this hunting iguana trip, the tarpon, all what we talked about, and the podcast too. If you want to watch the video, if you're listening, all going to be on the YouTube channel, all in the show notes below. I want to thank these guys for coming on their first podcast for Bobby and Colby. Jared's been on here before, and we're going to get him on some more episodes because turkey season's coming up, and part of the deal that we made that he moved to Goliad is that he do some scouting. So we'll be getting ready for that coming up here soon. And Bob, I guess if you want to get out of the cold, shoot some turkeys or something,
Hey,
you can come
how
down.
about if y'all want to get in the cold, come up here and try to hunt an elk where I'm not sure they exist, only in deer season.
Hey, you got wolves now. I'm not coming up
Hey,
there.
dude, if you'll mess with snakes, you'll mess with wolves.
No,
I don't know about that.
That is not an even trade at all.
But that's not how that works.
I can run away from one. I can't run away from the other.
Listen,
For real.
hey, man, don't worry about them wolves. They'll be all right.
Yeah, they only hunt in packs. It's no big deal.
You won't know it's a problem until it's a big problem.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
big
no,
problem.
So
I'm
you're
good.
fine for most of it.
No, we do need to put something together for sure. We need to go hunting out west somewhere, or at least we need to do a pronghorn hunt. We need to figure out where we're going to put in to do a pronghorn hunt and do that in like August.
I'm doing a weekend pronghorn hunt this year with a group of people. Y'all are welcome to join.
Oh, now he tells us.
Just got reminded yesterday.
Oh, well, you need to send us the details then, so we can figure this out.
So, yeah.
And where at?
I'm about to say
southern Colorado.
Okay.
We'll talk about this later. You send us some dates and some information in the group message, and
hey,
we'll get it figured out.
I like this group message we got going on. Are we gonna?
Let's do it.
Yeah. True story. Well, I ain't gonna hold y'all up all night. I know y'all got stuff to do.
I got a lot to drink, bro.
I gotta go edit this podcast.
Yeah, cut that stuff
Don't
out.
just leave it raw. Just put
No, I
raw,
told you.
unedited.